Hi guys, welcome back to House Church for our Kids Village lesson this week. I am so glad to see you. We're going to talk about Noah again this week. Do you remember Noah from last week? What did he do? He built a special boat called the Ark. It had wood all the way across. It had a big door on the front and it had a window at the top. And Noah was listening to God to know exactly how to build his ark. So God kept talking to Noah. So that was really awesome because Noah was doing exactly what God had told him to do. So when Noah was listening, he was obeying God, just like God has asked us to obey our parents and our teachers and our leaders. So obeying is a very important thing that we learned about so long ago with Noah in the Bible. Noah's story is found in the Bible in the book of Genesis. It's the very first book in the Bible. And when we talk about Genesis, in Genesis 1, God created the whole world, or the earth. So can you put your hands up and make them in a circle like this, like God created the whole world? And then he can hold it in his hands. That's a different song. But when God created the whole world, that's how we remember the hand motions for the book of Genesis. So every time I say Genesis, I'm going to try to remember to do my hands like this because that was the book of Genesis. So like before, when we talked about Samuel and Saul and David, they were in 1 Samuel. So we made the number 1 and drew a big S with our fingers for 1 Samuel. So now we're in the book of Genesis. So to help us remember Genesis, we'll put our hands in a circle like that when God created the whole world. So in Genesis chapter 6 and chapter 7, this week we're learning a little bit more about Noah and his story and how God used Noah during that time. We're going to start reading from our Bibles just a little bit. I'm going to share with you what God put in this story about Noah. We're going to be in Genesis chapter 6 and chapter 7. Let me start with verse 19. You are going to bring into the ark 2 of all living creatures, male and female, which means boy and girl. So they're going to bring them onto the ark to keep alive with you during this big flood that's coming. So 2 of every kind of bird and every kind of animal and every creature that moves along the ground will come with you to keep them alive. You are to take every kind of food that is to be eaten and store it away so you will have enough food for you and for them. Noah did everything just as God commanded him. Then the Lord said to Noah, "Go into the ark, you and your whole family, because I have found you righteous in this generation." So Noah took the animals and put them on the ark. So if you have an ark at home, you can do this. So what did he take? Do you remember? He took 2 of each animal. He said to take a girl and a boy. So he would have 2 of these birds, a girl and a boy bird. And he would have 2 zebras, a girl zebra and a boy zebra. And he would take giraffes. He took a girl giraffe and a boy giraffe, and they all got onto the ark. And what else did God tell Noah to take with him? Food. So Noah had to put the food, the animals, and Noah's family all inside of the ark that they had just built. In chapter 7, verse 4, this is what it says. 7 days from now, I will send rain onto the earth for 40 days and 40 nights, and I will wipe the face of the earth of every living creature I have made. So do you remember what was happening last week before Noah started building? People had gotten mean and violent, and it was chaotic. Everyone was out of control. And so Noah was listening to God, and God did not like how those people were acting. So he asked Noah to do a very special job. He asked Noah to build this ark to save this family and these animals because it's going to be wiped away. So this week in our story, he finished the ark and he started loading it with the food and the animals and the people that God told him to save. because it was going to rain for 40 days and 40 nights. Last week, it just snowed for a couple of days, and it seemed like a long time. But it was going to rain for 40 days and 40 nights. So we need to remember to listen for God, because He will save us from some things that seem so hard. When we listen and obey, He wants us to follow His will, and He wants us to obey Him. So if we think about Noah and what he had been doing, do you think he wanted to build the ark? Do you think he wanted to leave everything and everyone that he knew? I don't think he did. I think it was hard. And so sometimes it's going to be hard for us to listen to God and obey God, or listen to our parents and obey our parents, but we need to follow God's will. And so sometimes it will be hard, and I know that, and I'm with you in that. And it feels hard for me too. But I want us to do a great job of listening and obeying this week. Thanks for watching our Kids Village House Church lesson, and I will be back next week with more stories about Noah. Have a great week.